Um, and then now over to Emily, who I should also say that Sonia and I have both very much benefited for many years in the many conversations we've had from and with Emily, and she's definitely one of my people I admire the most and have known now for 12 years. She has definitely informed my own thinking over these 12 years. And so we're very lucky to have had those inspirations and to have her here to share about the work that she's been doing. Emily, over to you.
Great, thanks, Patrick. Well, the feeling is very much mutual. I have been learning alongside Patrick and now Sonia for many years as well. So it's really an honor to be here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we've been co-designing technology with mostly Indigenous partners. Yeah, my name is Emily. I co-founder and executive director of Digital Democracy. We're a fellow nonprofit working in the technology for good space as WeRobotics. Our mission as an organization is really working in solidarity with marginalized and frontline communities around the world to defend human and environmental rights. So that looks like a lot of different things, and we have often used drones and robotics and not taken it nearly as far as all of you have, but that has been, one of the tools in our toolkit. We essentially do three things as an organization. We provide direct support for local communities. That's where we're invited in, and we do trainings and workshops. That's where sometimes we might do drones or GPS, all sorts of different tools. Seeing some gaps in the technology space, we actually have started co-creating and co-building tools with local partners. That's mostly what I'm going to speak about today. And then finally, we also have just this summer launched a program called Earth Defenders Toolkit. And I'd really encourage all of you who are, doing things related to environmental justice or kind of any sort of land defense space to check that out because it's a great place for you to share your processes and things you're doing. And so it's a way we're sharing what our partners are up to. And we'd really love to see WeRobotics community kind of get involved in that. But just briefly, I think you probably all know some of the threats that are facing communities around the world, and we've specifically been working in the Amazon rainforest for the past many years, working at the invitation of local groups. And you can see oil spills in the upper left. And the upper right, that's actually a drone image that was taken by our partners in Guyana, the Wapishan, of illegal gold mining happening in the Marudi Mountains. The lower left is, again, illegal gold mining in Ecuador, and then forest fires stemming from deforestation in Brazil. The threats are myriad, and technology can play an important role in helping to address those. But we see persistent technological challenges around connectivity. A lot of our partners live in areas where they might be multiple days walk from internet or mobile phone access, tools that aren't really accessible to new users who haven't, hardly used phones before. Data management, often requiring external people to really help them manage their own data, which we, and I know you all do as well, view as really problematic when local people aren't able to manage the data themselves. So we've built Mappeo, a free digital tool set for documenting, monitoring, and mapping many different kinds of data. And it works in a few different ways. It's offline first. There's a mobile and desktop application that are powered by a decentralized database. And we've really focused on the community ownership of the data and incorporating principles of Indigenous data sovereignty. So I'll just briefly tell one of the stories of the kind of how we got started with Mappeo specifically. We were invited by Waorani people in Ecuador to help them with a mapping project. They really wanted to create a full map of their lands because many of the government maps just looked empty and therefore made it look like their land was ready to be kind of used for resource development, whether that be oil drilling or logging or other things. So we built Mappeo actually initially off of OpenStreetMap's ID editor. It's now kind of gone further than that, but so really simple to use to be able to draw things, but we hacked it to be able to work offline. And so you can see here in one of the Waorani villages, Jorge, who was a member of the Waorani mapping team, was able to talk with an elder firsthand, get that data in Waorani language into the map. They created lots of beautiful icons of all the different things they were documenting, and then created beautiful maps of their area that really show, in their words, a map full of things that don't have a price. How can you put a price on that biodiversity and on these sacred areas? So they were able to kind of produce both digital and paper maps, and that became relevant when in 2018, the Ecuadorian government announced a new oil block for sale, B22 in Guarani territory, in the same area where they had been doing this mapping work. So they launched a legal campaign, went to court, used the maps to help explain why it was so important to not have oil drilling on their territory, and they won that legal case and were able to protect 1.5 million acres of the Amazon. Of course, technology was only part of that, but it did play an important role. I'm just going to skip ahead to say that we started using Mappeo with different partners in the Amazon. And now, as their success have been heard around the world, it's now being used in different parts of the world. So we've got some Indigenous partners in North America, working with Ogiek peoples in Kenya and a lot of groups in Southeast Asia. We most recently heard from the Santo Sunset Environmental Network in Vanuatu, who are using Mappeo and documenting like rare bird species. And we're seeing kind of it being used, now in over 11 countries, and that the people who are using it are actively defending more than 3.4 million hectares. So really excited to share this with you all because I think it's so relevant to what WeRobotics is doing. But I'll just end on this note from Opie, who is the director of the Guarani Mapping Project, that technology won't save our land. We have to save our land. So even as we work with technology, we know that it's only part of the solution.